gratitude to all of you for being with us this morning, and my sincere greetings to everybody who is with us for this Facebook Live session today. In our discussion yesterday, we decided to do a self-assessment, an evaluation of how we are doing and how we want to move forward in our decision on dealing with our bad habits. We discussed how we could be on the bike riding towards our destination in the right direction. If we are slow, no problem, let's adapt to that slowness before we get to a fast movement. If we are fast, let us increase our speed by adding that micro change, the new micro change for the next 1 week. Or if we are on the bike riding in the right direction, but if we couldn't keep up with our commitments, we fell off the bike, no problem. Let's not be depressed. It's not about losing a battle, it's about winning a war. Let's get onto the bike again and start riding in the right direction. Or we could probably be one of those who are riding on the bike, but then rather than being on the road that we are meant to, we went astray into some other direction, put the bike aside and got distracted in doing something else. No problem. Let's pick up the bike, come back to the main road, what the decision that we made, and keep going. Or we could just be those who don't have a bike at all. So better we now start getting a bike and riding the bike of our commitment to change our bad habits in the right direction. Ranjani ji, good morning. Charu, Hare Krishna. Nitesh, thank you for joining us. Sanjay, we are very, very happy to have you with us. Madhumita, Hare Krishna. Momita, thank you for that compliment that it's a very productive morning. It's all of you actually who make the morning a very productive morning. Luna, thank you for joining us from Kolkata. Kiran, good morning. And Pankaj, I offer my pranams to you as well. Actually, to be honest, all of you are the ones who make my morning a great morning as well by coming together as this wonderful, inspiring community for bringing in that change. Gauranga is asking us the question, what is the main mantra for living? We will be talking about it today as we continue our discussion. Prashant, thank you very much for your compliments. Shivangi, thank you for your kind support in being here. Mani, thank you for joining. Rajesh, Hare Krishna. Rajesh is from Calicut, Kerala. Pradeep, thank you for your compliments. Abhishek, all the way from Argentina again, thank you for joining. Atul, thank you for joining. Sutapa, we are very happy to have you. Joanna, thank you for joining us. And I'm really, really happy to have all of you. Shwanat Samaira is all the way from Fiji. Thank you for joining us from Fiji. The reflection for this morning's discussion, day 8 of our 21-day habit challenge. Thomas Alva Edison once made a very nice statement. He said, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. We may have an inspiration in our heart, that 1% strong, burning inferno of an inspiration. But unless that inspiration is put into action, dedicated, committed, hard work, that 99% perspiration, we are not going to be able to achieve what we want to achieve. And so also, when we talk about dealing with our bad habits, success is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. We need that inspiration, but based on the foundation of that inspiration, we have to put in dedicated, committed, hard work. That 99% perspiration. What's amazing is that 99% perspiration is based on the foundation of that 1% inspiration. If the foundation of a building is in place, the very first thing that we make when it comes to building a structure, a house, a beautiful edifice or a mansion, is we put the foundation in place. If the foundation is in place, if it's strong and robust, then all the building blocks, the bricks, the cement, the mortar, the steel can go on and form a beautiful structure for us to live in, for us to dwell in. And so also, that 1% inspiration is the foundation of that 99% perspiration. Imagine If you're very inspired to change, if you're very inspired to give up some of your bad habits, but you don't put that hard work, that 99% perspiration, what good is that inspiration? Or imagine if you keep putting 99% of perspiration, that hard work, that effort, that dedicated commitment, but if you don't have that inspiration to do it in the right direction and sustain it and get it a higher shelf life, what good is that hard work and perspiration? Therefore, success comes by a balance of the two. Inspiration, which acts as the foundation, and perspiration, which acts as the building blocks to build upon that foundation. I once read a very interesting Japanese proverb. It said, action without vision is a nightmare. If you simply keep acting without having the right vision, the result is a nightmare. And it said, vision without action is a daydream. If you simply have a vision and you don't act upon it, all you have as a result is a daydream. I have rephrased it for our discussion here today. Perspiration without inspiration is a nightmare. But inspiration without perspiration is a daydream. And therefore I think we need to have both. And dealing with our habits, we've been talking about the perspiration, our action plan, our habit journal, our micro changes, staying away from those tempting surroundings. We've been talking about an actual action plan to put in that dedicated hard work, effort and perspiration. And we also need to speak about, which we've been talking about as well, is that 1% foundation, inspiration, which keeps us going. How to remain inspired on a day-to-day basis. Difficulties, temptations, trying circumstances, challenges come every day, and they puncture and put a hole in the tire of the vehicle of our committed effort. I always say, inspiration is the fuel that propels the vehicle of our hard work in the right direction. So how to stay sustainably inspired, how to remain fired up, charged up on a day-to-day basis so we can actually keep going with those commitments that we've made. Here's what I always say. In just a couple of days back, we were hearing about staying away from those tempting surroundings which will affect us negatively. But inspiration comes by being in or creating a positive surrounding that can actually influence our mindsets and our values so profoundly that we are inspired to continue our journey. And when I talk about being in or creating that positive surrounding, it's not all that hard actually. One of my friends in London, his name is Lalit Soda, is born British Indian, born in Britain but from an Indian origin, a Gujarati Pushti Margi Vaishnava, devotee of Srinathji. Very nice man. He's an experienced chiropractor, has over 30 years, I believe, 25 to 30 years of experience as a chiropractor. And he runs a clinic at Field End Road in Pinner. And every single time I'm in London, he'll call me over to his chiropractic clinic to fix any of the issues I have in my back or in my neck. And is really good actually. He's fantastic. Works very well his treatment. Now, for years, whenever I'm in London, I've been going to Lalit's clinic. And I've been there so many times. But in the recent past, just in a few years before, I started taking note that the signboard on Lalit's chiropractic clinic is red and white. Whenever I entered in his clinic, I started observing that his furnishings, the interiors are all red and white. I also observed that him and all of his staff has an attire which is red and white. They wear a white shirt with a red tie, and if it's a lady, a black skirt or black trouser and a coat. Men, of course, black trousers and coats, black coats. But the entire theme for Lalit's chiropractic clinic is red and white. Now, this year, when I was at Lalit's clinic in the month of April, I brought that question up with Lilith and asked, "Hey Lilith, I have a question for you. I mean, I've been coming to you for several years, but in the recent past, a few years back, I've started noting that everything in your clinic, beginning from your signboard to your furnishing, to your uniform, to the pens that you give up at gifts, to your notepads, and I mean the prescription pads, everything's red and white. Why is that so?" As an answer, Lilith, my friend, pointed towards the wall. And as I turned around towards the wall and looked around me, everywhere I saw something that had always been there. I'd seen them, I had read them, but I'd never connected them. On the walls, several walls in the clinic, all over the place, there were quotes with pictures of Richard Branson. Lilith Soda held Richard Branson as a role model for success. He feels truly inspired by the sutras that Richard Branson shares for success. We all have our role models. We all have those icons, those idols whom we adore. For Lilith, it was Richard Branson. And Richard Branson's brand, Virgin, the Virgin Group, is red and white. Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Red. It's all red and white. If you see the Virgin logo, it's red and white. And if you want to Google, you could Google Lilith Soda Chiropractic Clinic. You will see the red board, you'll see the red attire, red and white. I'm not saying we would need to change to a color that our role models wear or the kind of clothes that they wear. Lilith, of course, took that up as well wonderfully. What I was really inspired by Lilith's example in the clinic was how he had surrounded himself with these quotes to inspire him with these success sutras. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we need to be in or create a positive surrounding, a positive atmosphere, a positive environment which will keep inspiring us with the commitment that we have made in our lives. Therefore, in your rooms, in your washrooms, bathrooms, restrooms, in your dining room, lunch tables, at your office, in your cars, have quotes. Have quotes. Inspirational quotes coming from your role models or inspirational quotes coming from so many different personalities. Those quotes which will inspire you, because it's that 1% inspiration that will be responsible for your 99% perspiration. Of course, we could physically print quotes with the pictures of those gentlemen or ladies who've said them and keep them around us. But there's another thing to do as well. We live in the modern day of technology. In fact, the other day when I was talking about, how we charge our phones before we charge ourselves, I read one of the comments one lady made later. She said, "But you also got popular by using Facebook, isn't it?" Because I was talking about how we can get so distracted by Facebook. Yeah, technology is no problem. Facebook is no problem. Smartphones are no problem. So long as we use them in moderation, so long as we use technology, and we don't get used by technology. We don't get victimized by technology. Technology is great. And so long as we use the technology, whether it's social media, whether it's our smartphones, our laptops, gadgets, whatever it might be, when we use it for constructive purposes, for our own lives, for the lives of others, and for the world at large, in a way that we can make it a better place, then that technology is no harm actually. Yes, I also am very grateful to Facebook and all social media, because I'm able to communicate to all of you through this social media and through this technology. And in fact, I am known to all of you and all of you are known to me because of this medium. Let's use it constructively. Let's use it with the right moderation, and let's not become victims of it. If we do it that way, no problem at all. So I was mentioning that we are in an age of technology today. And since we are in an age of technology, we could use technology for inspiration as well, to create that positive surrounding of inspiration so that our perspiration is right. You could use reminder apps which can pop up on your screens, those quotes that you have put in there, or you could just send reminder apps that breathe now, or don't do this, or do this. Interesting, isn't it? We have all these facilities today. Why can't we use them? We could use the wallpaper of our phones, our tablets, our gadgets, our laptops as inspirational quotes. We can keep a folder of those inspirational videos, sharing those nuggets and snippets of motivation. And so many hundreds and thousands of them available now all over the place, all over the internet. Why not take those videos, especially those ones which always resonate with our hearts, which strike a very deep chord, which touch us very deeply, and which really kind of motivate and inspires us to give our 200%? Keep them as your favorite folders, put them in your favorite section. And every single time you feel a low, count upon this resource pool of motivational and inspirational videos. We can create that positive atmosphere. We can create that positive environment. We can create that positive surrounding. And if you already have that surrounding, you're fortunate that you're already in there. But if we have to, we must also create it. Last but not the least, there's many things we could share about creating that positive surrounding. But last but not the least, I truly feel that one of the essential things required for that positive surrounding, motivation and inspiration is not just quotes all around the place, not just technology which can pop on the screen, inspirational quotes, reminders, videos, but people. The day before yesterday we heard how we should keep away from vicious company and seek virtuous company. Truly, it's people, being with those positive people, being with those motivated, inspired individuals, which can pump into us that adrenaline, and not just pump it in, but sustain it, so that our perspiration, our hard work, our commitment, our efforts keep going. Such people who are positive, such people who are there to help us without any agenda, without any ulterior motives. They don't want anything from us, but out of their affection for us, out of their deep bonding with us, they're willing to actually help us. That motivational association is such a positive surrounding. And even for that association, we could physically be with those people if possible, they're around us. We could connect to them on telephones, through technology, through Skype, through Facebook calls, through WhatsApp calls, whatever medium. We can actually keep ourselves inspired. Association is less physical. It's more inspirational. If we can physically be with that person, fantastic. But if we cannot physically be with that person, we can always connect to that person through different means on a regular basis and keep that charge going. Look for that person. Who's that one, two, three people? Who's that one person or two or three people for you who really charge you up? Meet them if possible regularly. If not, keep a connect with them regularly, because that connect will keep you inspired. That connect will refurbish, re-embellish the foundation of that 1% inspiration. I shared this story in one of the videos recently on the lessons from the pencil, but I cannot help but share this once again because it's such an amazing story. I really like it. A little boy once came back from school. He came home and he met his mother and handed over a paper to his mother saying, "Mom, my teacher gave this little tiny letter to be handed over only to you for your reading." When the mother opened the letter and started reading the contents, she was crying. She was in tears. As she spoke to her, little boy said, "Your teacher's written that you are a genius." She said, "Your son is a genius. This school is too small for him, and we don't have enough good teachers to actually train your son. So it would be really nice if you train your son at home." Years later, the mother died, and the boy, who was now a grown-up, was cleaning up things in his mother's home. And as he opened the drawer of one of the desks in the home, Inside the drawer, he found that little paper which he had given to his mother years back. He opened the paper, and this gentleman cried for hours after that when he read what was written on the piece of paper. The teacher had written on the piece of paper, "Your son is mentally ill. We do not think he has any capacity to learn in the school. We do not think that he would ever do well in the school. So we are expelling, throwing him out of the school." This man cried bitterly out of gratitude to his mom for having trusted him. And this gentleman wrote at the bottom of this line, just below this line that the teacher had written on this old paper, this gentleman wrote below, "Yes, Thomas Alva Edison was a mentally ill boy and was turned into one of the greatest inventors of the century by his hero, his mother, who trusted in him, who inspired him, who believed in him." Yes, when we have those people who can pump in that inspiration, who can pump in that motivation, even if people give up on us, our temptations are strong, difficulties and challenges come. But in the company and with the inspiration of such amazing people, we can truly move on in the direction and destination that we want to go towards. So as a recap and a summary, we heard today that genius or success is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Perspiration without inspiration is a nightmare, but inspiration without perspiration is a daydream. Let's not be daydreamers just by just being inspired, and let not turn our life into a nightmare by just acting without inspiration. The balance is a crucial aspect. And then we heard how to stay inspired. We stay away from those negative surroundings, but we stay inspired by positive surroundings. How do we do it? We use inspirational quotes, create that atmosphere around us in our homes, at our offices, putting those quotes so that they are reminders to us of what's the right thing to do. We use technology, our smartphones, our gadgets, and our laptops to watch inspirational videos, motivational videos every single day. We make a favorite folder of those ones which specially resonate with us, and every single time we are in our low phase, we count on them to inspire us. But thirdly, like Thomas Alva Edison's mother, we need someone who can trust in us, who can help us without any ulterior motive, who are there for us to motivate, inspire us, and pump into us that energy, that fuel, so that the vehicle of our hard work can go in the right direction. Yes, create that positive surrounding for yourselves, and you will be able to keep up with your habit commitments. Vashu Agarwal ji, thank you very much for being with us. Rajesh, thank you for joining us this morning. Ankita, thank you for that compliment. All these inspirations come from all of you and from all my gurus and my teachers, and a little bit of experiences that I get. Govinda, thank you so much. You're saying we just have to forget about the negative people. Yeah, we need to forget about the negative people. Sometimes we just have to deal with it. Just do the needful, really. Shafali, thank you very much for your compliments. Preet, good morning. Arvind, good morning. Shilpa, thank you for finding us out as well. We're happy that you found us, and we are happy that we found you. And Anubhav saying how all the time we are inspired or perspired. Yes, we have to keep a balance of the two in our lives. Virginia, Lamas Mendoza, thank you for joining. Aditi, thank you for your compliments. I really thank you all. Deep, Ranjita, Daksha, Gauri, I thank all of you, the names I have called for, and everybody else for joining us for this 21 Days Habit Challenge, Day 8. See you tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning, Indian Standard Time. Until then, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.